Welcome back to Story in 10. The dense, silent forests of our national parks. The towering mountains and sprawling deserts, they hold a beauty that feels eternal, a wildness that humbles us, and for some, a mystery that chills to the bone. They are the last true wildernesses on our continent, vast and unforgiving, and they are where people vanish without a trace. Not just a handful, but hundreds. They are not lost or, at least not in the conventional sense. They are gone. No footprints, no signs of a struggle, no baddies. Just gone. This isn't just a story about getting lost on a trail. It's a journey into a world where the laws of nature seem to bend, where logical explanations fall short, and where the wilderness itself seems to hold a terrifying secret. We're going to dive into the most baffling cases of missing persons in U.S. national parks, from seasoned hikers to young children, and explore the theories that range from the rationale to the truly unsettling. This isn't just a collection of disappearances. It's a story about the fragile line between civilization and the untamed wild, and what happens when that line is crossed. Our first deep dive takes us to Yosemite National Park, a place of stunning granite cliffs and ancient sequoias, and the site of the haunting disappearance of Barbara Thomas. In 1994, Barbara, an experienced hiker and a seasoned park visitor, set out on a solo trek. She was well prepared, knew the trails, and was expected back within a few hours. But she never returned. Search teams launched a massive effort, combing every inch of the area she was believed to be in. They found nothing. No pack, no discarded clothing, no signs of a fall. It was as if she simply stepped off the trail and into thin air. The park rangers, baffled, had no choice but to conclude she vanished without a trace. Her case is not an isolated one in Yosemite. Others have gone missing there with equally baffling circumstances. These aren't the cases of people who wandered off the path and got disoriented. These are people who, by all accounts, were found on the main trail one moment and were gone the next, leaving behind nothing but a riddle. The Thomas case is a hook into a broader, more terrifying pattern. What could explain such a perfect vanishing act in one of the world's most heavily trafficked parks? As we continue to encounter one of the most famous and disturbing cases, that of the missing child, Dennis Martin, in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. On a hot summer day in 1969, 6-year-old Dennis was hiking with his family. He was a few steps ahead of them, playing a game, when they looked up and he was gone. His parents called out, assuming he was hiding, but there was no response. The family frantically searched, then alerted park rangers. The subsequent search was one of the largest in the park's history, involving hundreds of volunteers, park rangers, and even a team of Green Berets. The area was so meticulously scoured that the searchers created a grid, walking shoulder to shoulder to ensure every single square inch was covered. Despite this unprecedented effort, no trace of Dennis was ever found. No footprints, no clothing, no sound. It's a case that defies all logic. A small child in a well-defined area, surrounded by a large group of people, simply vanishes. The sheer improbability of it is what makes it so unsettling. This is a recurring theme in these stories. The lack of evidence. It's not the cases where the body is found days later after a fall. It's the cases where the person seems to have been plucked from the earth. The Martin case serves as a chilling example of a deeper, darker narrative unfolding in these wild places. The mystery deepens when we begin to see patterns emerge. In case after case, certain eerie details are repeated. The missing persons often have a few things in common. They disappear near bodies of water, even small streams. Their clothing or shoes are sometimes found neatly folded or placed nearby, as if intentionally left behind, and their disappearances are frequently associated with sudden, unexplained changes in weather. Take the case of an elderly man who vanished in Mount Rainier National Park. He was seen one moment, and when his hiking companion turned to speak to him, he was gone. A massive storm rolled in almost immediately afterward, hampering search efforts. When the weather cleared, there was no sign of him. In another case, a young woman in Olympic National Park disappeared, and her well-worn hiking boots were later found sitting perfectly side by side on a flat rock. These are not the actions of a person in distress or a wild animal. These are details that hint at something more intelligent, more deliberate, at play. Some of the most bizarre and inexplicable findings are the items that are recovered. Sometimes it's a single shoe, or a pair of socks, or a backpack with all of its contents still inside. Yet the person is nowhere to be found. It's as if they were undressed, item by item, with care, before they disappeared. These small, unnerving details make the cases more than just tragic accidents. They turn them into something otherworldly. So what could be the explanation for these seemingly impossible disappearances? The most grounded theories point to a combination of human error and the raw power of nature. It's possible that people get disoriented and fall into deep ravines or caves that are simply impossible to search. Flash floods, rock slides, or sudden animal attacks could account for some of the vanishings, leaving no discernible trace. Then there's the human element. Some people may have intentionally walked away from their lives, leaving no clues to prevent a search. But these logical explanations, while they might account for some cases, fail to address the truly baffling ones, the ones with no struggle, no body, and no rational reason for the lack of evidence. This is where the more fringe, and frankly, more terrifying, theories come into play. Some believe these disappearances are linked to extraterrestrial activity, a notion that, while unproven, is fueled by the strange details and the lack of any rational explanation. Others point to a darker side of the parks themselves, a malevolent force or spirit that inhabits these wild places. It's an idea that has been around for centuries, the notion of a boogeyman in the woods. These theories might seem fantastical, but when faced with an unending stream of baffling cases, they become the only narratives that seem to fit the facts. This is the true horror of these stories. The not knowing. It's the unsettling feeling that you are never truly in control when you are in the wild. It's the cold, quiet dread that something is out there, beyond our comprehension, that can make people simply disappear. The national parks are not just playgrounds of nature. They are places of ancient power and unseen forces, and they hold their secrets close. The next time you find yourself walking a quiet trail, 100 miles from the nearest city, take a moment to remember the stories we've told today. You are a visitor in a wild, untamed world, and the line between visitor and prey is a lot thinner than you think. And with that thought, we'll leave you to ponder the mysteries that lie just beyond the well-worn path. If you found this story compelling, be sure to like and subscribe to Story in 10 for more chilling tales. We'll see you next time.